Hello fellow YouTubers, Bear Prepper here. I bet you were wondering if I was ever going to get around to doing this. Today we're going to make mint extract. Now, I make my mint extract without vodka. Because you know what? If a SHTF situation were to happen, I really think I'd want to save my vodka for other uses. So all you do is you take your mint leaves, grab the top, and, well, and drag your hands down. Some of the small ones are kind of hard to do. And you're just going to get the mint leaves off. So here's a nice long one here. Grab the top, strip your hands down, and then punch off the top. Don't worry about leaving the stem on the top, because we are going to be straining this, and so you just want to get some of that woody mint stem out. And I have seeds in here somewhere, so I'm going to try to be a little careful because I have never seen mint seed before. And like I said, I must be doing something right because everything is seeding on me, which is a good thing. So just grab your fingers and strip it down and then pinch off the top. So let me go ahead and get all this done and I'll get back with you. Once you have it all stripped off, you're going to measure it. And when you measure mint, you push it down into the cup, okay? Don't just grab the cup and measure. Oh, I missed one of my seed pods. See, I've got some seed pods here. Hopefully they were ripe enough that they will dry and produce seeds. But I've got 2 cups of mint here. And that is a lot of mint when you look at it in a big bowl. Or mint. So I'm going to put 2 cups of mint in here. And I'm sorry if my arm is in the way. Bring it up. Alright. And for each of those 2 cups of mint, I am going to put 4 cups of water. Remember, when you bring your mint in, you want to, I almost lost count. You want to rinse it really well, have it sitting in cold water, let all those bugs get off if there are any. So I've got 8 cups of water here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, let's see if we can get you closer. I'm using a different camera, so I'm having some issues with it. Now, you can use a mallet, you can use a spoon, you can use a mixer. You want to beat it, okay? So let me beat it and I'll come back. Another way you can do it, and if you see any bad leaves while you're doing it, pull them out. So I'm just going to squeeze it. I want to start releasing those extracts. Make it a little easier. You could chop it if you'd like. That just seems like so much more work than what is required. And so you just want to make them all crumbly and start releasing those extracts. And yes, you're going to get mint stuck all over. But that's okay. It smells wonderful in here. Now I'm going to bring it to a boil and simmer until I'm down to 2 cups of liquid. And then I'm going to see how dense it is and see if I like the flavor. Alright, so we'll get back to you when we've got it reduced. I'm going to do it, like I said, bring it to a boil and then reduce it over medium-low heat until it is reduced to 2 cups of liquid. Just a little trick while we're waiting for it to boil. If you're doing basil, start from the bottom and work your way up. It's so much easier than trying to strip them all the way down the stem. Okay? So with the mint, you're just going to start from the top and go down. But with the basil, you just stripping stuff off from the bottom. And try not to get too many stems. And of course the one I'm showing you doesn't work as easily as others. So then you just grab the tips and strip it down. Let's see if I can find a easy one. Here's one. So it's got 3 stems, and I'm just going to strip it down from the bottom. And then I'm going to take the 1 stem and strip it down. It's got more than 3. Whenever you got these side shoots, it makes it a little more difficult. But it's faster than picking them off one at a time, which is what I used to do. So, look at your plant and figure out which way works the best. Try different ways, because you'll never know if there's a better way unless you try it. Once you're done boiling it, just put it in a strainer and press the leaves to get all the juice out. And you can use this mint extract for tea or for making jelly. So we're going to make some jelly. There's the mint extract. No vodka. Alright, so let's make some mint jelly. I'm going to follow the recipe in the CERTO package, CERTO, which is the same recipe that is in the Ball Home Canning and Preserving. Pretty much. Now, I've made my mint extract. I probably could have cooked it down just a hair further, but it's stronger than what it calls for. And the way I determined that was I took a little taste. So taste your mint extract, give it about 10 minutes in your mouth. If after 10 minutes you can still taste it, it's really strong. So you only want to use a cup of that. If after 10 minutes, when you breathe in, you don't have that pepperminty feel, then you want to go ahead and use the measurements that are here. Whatever changes you make in water. So I'm using 1 cup of my mint extract to 1 1/4 cups of water. But I'm making a double batch. So we're going to do this twice. So I've got my pot. This is my first mix of mint extract and water. And I know it's ugly, that's why you use the food coloring. We're going to use 1 cup more. And 1 1/4 cups of water. Ooh, I can smell that mint. And we're going to pour it in. I always put my food coloring in at the end. First thing we're going to do is bring this pot to a boil. Alright, once you've got it all hot and boiling, you want to pour in your sugar. And stir it while you're doing it. Okay. You're going to keep stirring until you dissolve it. I like the other directions better. Bring to a full rolling boil over high heat. Now, as you see, I've got my lids, my pans over there in the warm water, simmering, not boiling. I've got my any pot will do. What I've done, show you a different way, is I've taken a towel and I've just folded it to fit the pot and dropped it in, and I'll be setting my jars on those. I'm going to be using the little 4-ounce jelly jars. So, all jellies need acid. If the fruit doesn't have acid, you have to add it. Here is 4 tablespoons, because I'm doing a double batch, so it's 2 tablespoons of lemon. So when this gets to a rolling boil, I'll come back. Alright, I wanted to show you something. It's boiling, right? And I never put the lid on. You leave the lid on for it to boil. A full rolling boil is when you stir and stir and stir, and you can't stir it down. So that is a rolling boil. At this point, we're going to put in 4 drops, because it's a double batch, of green food coloring. And then we're going to kind of look at it and see if it looks green enough. Oh yeah, that's pretty color. Alright, so now we're going to do the final step. This is the easiest jelly to make. This and wine jelly. And we're just going to dump in our 2 packages of CERTO, and of course it's going to knock the boil down. So you never start your timing again until your boil comes back up to a full rolling boil. You're just going to squeeze it out. I prefer the liquid pectin to the powdered pectin, but you can do either one. Just follow the recipe in the box for the powdered pectin. I believe it still has a mint jelly recipe. So now we're going to let it come right back up to a rolling boil, and then let it boil for 1 minute. Alright, sometimes you gotta blow on it or stir really fast, and you want it to boil like this for 1 minute. And by this time your boiling water bath should be boiling. So now we're going to fill the jars. Got my funnel. Got my rings. I have my white lids around here somewhere. Because I'm doing some Tattler and some regular. See, it's a pretty green. You want to fill it to within 1/4 inch of the lid. It's really hot, so be really careful. Oh, did you see that? No, it tastes good, but I just poured it across my thumb. Double batch is supposed to make 8. So I have 8 jars and 3 small ones for extra. 3 of the 4-ounce. Now with jelly, you don't have to stick the knife in to get the bubbles out, because it's jelly. There's nothing to trap it. The only reason you're doing that is for trapped air within the product. You can't have trapped air in jelly. So if anyone tells you you've got to get the air bubbles out of jelly, they're wrong. Anything that's loose and runny, you usually don't have to get the air bubbles out either. Broth. No bubbles. I know I've been promising this video to you for a long time. See, I'm short 1 jar. Made much more than it said it would. So I could have got 10 jars out of this. 10 8-ounce jars, jelly jars, okay? Not full-size jars. Let's top some of these off, because they are just a hair low. So now I'm taking a hot paper towel, wet hot paper towel. And I'm going to take my lid off so I'm all ready. I'm going to wipe my rims. It's really hot. If you need a cloth, then go ahead and get one at this point. I find it's really hard to just touch the top without holding on to the rim. I just always feel like I'm going to miss. Might be an age thing. Because I remember when I was younger, I didn't have to do that. I could just wipe it and I was done. So let's get the regular metals on first because I need the magnet for them. Oops, that one's going to have to be re-wiped. And it's tighter than you think. Now, since I don't have the rack, use your jar lifters to get them in the boiling water bath, okay? Don't drop them in. It's not fun when the hot water splatters back up on you. And let me go ahead and get these finished and I'll get back to you. Alright, I got them all in there. Now, you'll notice you only see one small one, if you can see that. But over here, I have them stacked. If you have an inch of water over the top of them, you're fine. You can stack the little 4 ounces. And they are sitting on a towel. They are not in a rack, okay? So you can make do with the rings, you can make do with towels, anything that gets them not slamming up against the bottom of the pot. That's all you need. If your pressure can or rack will fit in there, you can use that. Mine doesn't fit. So now I'm going to let this boiling water bath for 10 minutes. Alright, when your timer goes off, after 10 minutes, you remove them. It's that simple. Now I'm going to put my tattler lids on one side and my regular lids on the other because I have to go through and tighten all my tattler lids. So you want to make sure you have enough room, ooh, they're popping already, to tighten them. I'll respace them after I've tightened them. Pop, pop, pop. Good seals. The only reason the towel's here is so that I don't crack the jars from the hot surface. So now I'm going to go through and yes, I'm going to use something on my hands here. And I am going to retighten all the tattlers. If you don't, they won't seal properly. And there you go. There you go. Isn't that pretty? Mint jelly. Sometimes, even after 24 hours, doesn't harden enough for you. Dripping is not the jelly. It's the water I wash the jars with. So what do? I mean, it's gelled, and if we pull it out of the fridge, because before you decide this, you should always refrigerate some and see what it looks like. So it's not bad, but it's still a little runny for me. Well, yeah, still a little runny for me. That's not going to spread too well on jelly. So, what do you do in those cases? Really easy. Yes, you waste some lids. You pour it back in your pot. You do the tattlers last. And you recook it, bring it to a boil. Boil it for 5 to 10 minutes. And if it's still not thick enough, go ahead and add some more CERTO and reprocess them. Okay, so it's finished recooking and processing for 10 minutes again. I cooked it slowly for about 15 minutes and then brought it up to a rolling boil for 5 minutes. And then this has not been refrigerated, so it's going to thicken up on refrigeration, but look at the difference. So sometimes that's all you need to do is reprocess. Isn't it beautiful? Blessings.